Good evening, all. Thank you for joining today's session. Welcome you all for the session. Our plan for today is to understand Cisco IOS. Okay, stands for Internet Networking Operating System. So you will understand what is Cisco IOS. There are two ways to connect it to this operating system of Cisco. We will learn both the ways. One is console access, the other one is SSH access. To perform configuration of networking components. Examples of networking components is a switch, router, and many more. To perform configurations, there are different modes in iOS. So we will learn about execute mode. What is execute mode? What is privileged mode? What is global configuration mode? So you'll understand the modes of iOS. And then we move on to practicals. If you want to, if we can create practicals, if you want to build a small network of 4 devices connected with each other, we cannot bring physical devices in this particular online training, isn't it? So we need a simulation tool. The simulation tool which we use it for training and understanding practicals of network administration is by using a tool called as Cisco Packet Tracer. So I'll provide the software, Cisco Packet Tracer. I already have downloaded. I'll be providing you the software and also the way to activate that particular software. So I recommend you to install this particular Cisco Packet Tracer so that you can perform hands-on, you can perform practicals of whatever we are learning the day-to-day sessions. Okay, and then we'll also create a first example of a simple network in a Cisco Packet Tracer. We'll create two pieces and then we establish connection between these two pieces and we'll test whether these two pieces are pinging or not. So this is our agenda for today's session. Okay, so it's very interesting, like our previous sessions. Before moving on, any questions on the concepts what we have discussed, please raise your hand. I hope you are enjoying the sessions. I'm sure you are enjoying the sessions. Any concepts on the any questions on the concepts what we have discussed, please raise your hand. Perfect. I hope you're perfectly following the sessions. So let's plan for our agenda for our today's session. Okay, let's get started. Okay. To run physical devices like your laptops and desktops, we have Windows operating system. Agree? We use a day-to-day Windows operating system to run your laptops and desktop. For Mac users, we have Mac operating system. So operating system is used for running the hardware. Similarly, Cisco is also providing an operating system to run the devices like switches and routers. Okay, so that operating system is called as iOS, created by Cisco, popularly called as iOS, stands for Internet Network Operating System. Today we'll be experiencing that iOS operating system. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so this particular Internet Network Operating System is created by Cisco. It is operating system used on Cisco routers and switches. These are networking components. Anyways, practicals, we start practicals, we will create switches and we will create routers. So you will be experiencing how the operating system looks like. So the operating system which is used to run the Cisco devices is called as iOS. It is a command line operating system, like we have command prompt, like how we have Linux is a command line operating system, isn't it? In the same way, this iOS is also a command line operating system with some predefined number of commands. We have some set of commands. You can perform the configurations of these networking devices by using these predefined set of commands. It is something similar to Linux operating system. It is a command line interface. Okay. So this particular operating system is used for configuring routing switches and networking devices. So all these Cisco related devices are run by using IOS, that is Inter-Network Operating System. Clear? Now, if you want to connect to the operating system, my dear friends, if you want to connect to the operating system, okay, let's say you have created a switch. You want to connect to the switch and you want to do some configurations on the switch. We should know how to connect to that particular operating system so that you can handle that particular device. You have to be very comfortable how to connect to that particular device and how to reach to that how to communicate to that particular device using this iOS. So this way to perform to access the iOS are two approaches. My dear friends, we have two approaches using which you can connect to this particular iOS and access this particular iOS. One is console access, as mentioned in the agenda. There are two ways to access to this particular operating system. One is by using console access, the other one by using SSH access. Using these two ways, you can connect to this particular networking components. Okay, so when should we use console access and when should we use SSH access? Let us learn in detail. Let us learn in detail. The first approach of accessing this iOS is console access. This type of access is usually used to configure newly acquired device. Newly acquired device. Let's say you bought one networking component called switch. Switch is used to connect multiple computers. Let's say you want to connect 5 computers. All these 5 computers are connected to switch. Anyways, we'll see that practically how to create a switch and how can we connect computers or systems to the switch. We'll see practically. So switch is a networking component which is used to connect multiple devices. When you're buying a switch for the first time, how do you access to that particular switch? Okay, so there's no predefined configurations done on the switch. It is factory settings. There is no IP address for that particular switch. Everything is completely new. In such case, how do you access to that particular switch? So these devices don't have any IP address configured because it's a brand new switch. When you're buying a new device, it is completely new. There is no IP address configured. How do you access and how do you perform configurations on that particular switch? So therefore, it cannot be accessed over the network. You cannot connect to that switch through the network. So you have to connect using the console access. So most of the Cisco devices will have a physical console port. Like we have LAN port. Every laptop and desktop we have a LAN port. In the same way, there is something called console port. All these Cisco devices will have a physical console port. Okay, so this port can be connected to your computer using the rollover cable, or it is also called as console cable. So in the computer peripheral shop, in the IT shops, okay, you will find a cable called as a console cable. It is also called as a rollover cable. I have an image with me. I'll show you how exactly this console cable or a rollover cable looks like. This is how a console cable looks like. One end of the port is a serial port, which will this end will be connected to your laptop and desktop. The other end will be connected to the newly acquired switch or a router. This is called console port. So this one end will be plugged into the console port. The other end is plugged into the laptop or desktop. That's a serial port. That's how you can start communicating to the newly acquired switch. So using this rollover cable, always the rollover cables are in blue color. Rollover cables are also called as console cables. So we use these console cables. Okay, we use this particular console cable to connect and get the access to that particular newly bought the switch. So this is one way of accessing to the operating system of that particular switch. Clear? Clear about this? Now, second approach. Second way to connect the switch. If the switch is already running in a network, if the switch is already live, that switch will have one IP address. How to assign IP address to the switch, we'll see practically. Once a switch is already running, how can you connect to that particular switch? So using SSH access. So using SSH access, we will, and this access enables you to configure the device remotely over the network. You can connect to that particular switch and you will have access to that particular iOS operating system of that particular switch. So this adds an extra layer of security by encrypting all communications. So whatever you are typing the commands, it will be encrypted and communicated to the operating system. So this is SSH access. We'll see practically how to connect to that particular switch over the SSH and how to configure over the network. We'll see this. SSH uses a well-known popular port called as 22 port. So these are two ways to connect to the networking component. For example, in this context, let's take an example of a switch. So once you have a switch ready, so there are two ways you can connect to that particular switch. One is by using console access, where you don't need to have any dependency on the network. Physically, you will connect one end of the console cable to the laptop or desktop, and one more end of the console cable you'll be connecting to that particular switch, the hardware component, and then you will start working with the switch using the terminal called as putty. You'll be connecting and then you'll be accessing it. That is by using console cable without depending on network. If the switch is already configured over the network, you can access that particular switch using SSH. So these are the ways where you can access to the operating system of that particular switch and start performing configurations. Clear? So these are all important from the certification point of view. In how many ways we can connect to this particular iOS. You'll get the questions from the certification. You should be able to select the right answers if you're aiming for certification. Clear? Clear about this? Any questions? Please raise your hand. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. Okay. So you now know that there's an operating system called as iOS, which is used to run the networking components of Cisco. Like how Windows and Linux is used to run your laptops and desktops, the networking components also use an operating system called as iOS. Okay, and there are two ways we have learned about both the ways of connecting to that particular iOS and start performing working on it. Next, the different modes in this particular iOS operating system. Whenever you connected to a particular switch, whether it is through console access or it is through SSH access, let's say once you connected to that particular switch, you will find three modes in this particular operating system. There are three modes of iOS as mentioned in the today's session. One is user execute mode, privileged execute mode, global configuration mode. Again, important from the certification point of view. iOS modes. There are three iOS modes. There are three modes in this particular operating system. User execute mode, popularly called as user mode. Privilege execute mode, popularly called as privilege mode. Global configuration mode, popularly called as configuration mode. These are the three modes available in the operating system. You may have a question, Sunil, what is the use of user mode? When should we go for privilege mode? When should we go for configuration mode? How can we switch from one mode to other mode? All this we'll see practically. We will see practically. We'll experience user mode. We will experience privilege mode. We'll experience the configuration mode practically. But remember, this iOS comes with three modes. Okay. Now let's learn about the first mode. Let us learn about the first mode called as user execute mode, or popularly called as user mode. Okay. Look at this. I'm talking about the first mode. I'm talking about the first mode called as user execute mode, or popularly called as user mode. It is the default mode of the operating system. The default mode is user mode, important from the interview question also. Whenever you connect it to a particular networking component, okay, you will be connected in the user mode. This is the default mode. So default, you will be connected with the user mode. So what you can do with this user mode? This is the mode used that the user is placed after accessing the iOS. The moment you connect it to this particular operating system, you'll be connected with user mode. In the user mode, you can run a very small, very basic commands like a ping command to check whether the communication is established or not. A very basic commands are able to execute in the user mode. This is the first mode. A very basic commands you can run it on the user mode. The moment you connect to a particular networking component, the moment you will access the iOS of that particular component, you will be entered into a mode called as a user mode. This is the default mode. In the default mode, you cannot make any configurations. You cannot make any changes. You can run some basic couple of commands. That's it. Nothing more. This is about user mode. Remember, user mode is the default mode. User mode is the default mode. Okay, if time permits, we'll create one small switch and we'll experience how the user mode looks like, if time permits. So this is about user mode. There is one more mode in this particular operating system called as privileged mode. The default mode is user mode, you know that. The default mode is user mode. You can switch from user mode to privileged mode. How can you switch from user mode to privileged mode? By using a command called enable. Important. You can access the privileged mode by using the command called enable. The moment you run a command called enable, you will be entered into the execute mode. You will be entering into the privileged mode. This mode can be accessed by password protect. If you want, you can have a protection to the particular password. What you can do in this privileged mode, you can view the configurations of that particular device. Example, switch is having some predefined existing configurations. You want to read that particular, you want to evaluate the configurations. You can look at the configurations, existing configurations only in the privileged mode. User mode, you cannot look at the configurations, whereas in privileged mode, you can view the configurations and you can also change basic configurations. A limited extent of changes can be done in the privileged mode. Mainly, privileged mode is for viewing the existing configurations. If you want to view the existing configurations of a particular networking device, please go for privileged mode. Got it? So privileged mode primary purpose is to view the existing configurations of a networking device. User mode is the default mode. The moment you connect to a particular networking device, you will be in the user mode. User mode, it is not recommended to view it. You cannot view the existing configurations. You have to switch to privileged mode. How can you switch from user mode to privileged mode? By using a command called enable, you can switch to privileged mode. So this is about the second mode called as privileged mode. There is a third mode called as global configuration mode. We have one more mode called as global configuration mode. You can switch to the global configuration mode by using a command called configure terminal. Especially learners and beginners, who don't get confused. Enable is a command which helps you to go to privilege mode. Okay. Configure terminal is a command which helps you to go to configuration mode. The command itself is having configure. That means it helps you to go to configuration mode. So from the privilege mode, you can go to configuration mode by using the configure terminal command. Once you run this particular configure terminal command, you will be entered into the configuration mode where you can completely change the device configurations as per the requirements. As per your infrastructure requirements or as per your client requirement, you can change the configurations of the networking components by using a mode called as configuration mode. Got it? I hope I am very clear in explaining you these three modes. The default mode is called as user mode. In user mode, you can run you only run basic commands, limited set of commands. Privilege mode is used to see the existing configurations. If a device is having some predefined configurations, or you want to look at the existing configurations of a particular device, please go to privilege mode. If you want to completely change the configurations, if you want to get the full control on that particular networking component and want to make entire changes, want to make complete configuration of that particular device, then you have to go for configuration mode. Enable is a command which helps you to go to privilege mode. Configure terminal is a command which helps you to go to configuration mode. So these are the three modes in iOS, Internet Network Operating System: user mode, privilege mode, and configuration. Am I clear? So first I have introduced you an operating system which helps you to run the Cisco components, that is iOS. And we have learned how to access this particular iOS. And you now know there are three modes in this particular iOS, and you know the objective of each and every mode. Clear about this? Any questions in iOS mode? Please raise your hand. Any questions in iOS mode? Please raise your hand. Perfect. We will see, you will experience practically these modes. Okay, we'll see once we get into practicals. Okay, perfect. Now let us start practicals of this particular course. Let us start practicals. If I want to show you how to create a simple network of these two machines connected over a cable. I want to create this particular network. Day one, I have explained you what is a network. Network is nothing but communication between the devices. I want to create a small network of two computers connected with each other using a cable. If I want to show you practically this particular network, okay, especially in this online training, I cannot bring physical two systems, and I cannot connect, and you cannot see it, right? Technically, it is impossible to show you physically how this network should be created, especially in this online mode. So to help this, okay, so we have a simulation tool called a Cisco Packet Tracer. So Cisco has created one tool called a Cisco Packet Tracer. What can be done by using the Cisco? Very beautiful tool called a Cisco Packet Tracer. Let's learn about the Cisco Packet Tracer. Cisco Packet Tracer is a free tool. It's a network simulation tool. You can simulate the network. That allows users like you and me to design, configure, troubleshoot network without needing any physical hardware. You don't need to have a physical hardware. You can simulate the physical hardware using this tool called a Cisco Packet Tracer. I'm sure few of you are already having an idea on Cisco Packet Tracer. If you're not having any idea, well and good, we'll see now. So Cisco Packet Tracer is a free tool provided by Cisco. It's a simulation tool where you can design, configure, and troubleshoot the network without needing any physical hardware. So this particular network, two systems communicating with each other over a cable, this you can simulate it in Cisco Packet Tracer. Right? Perfect. Perfect. So it's a simulation tool. So we'll be using this particular simulation tool so that for our practicals. What is the advantage? Using the Cisco Packet Tracer, it enables to have hands-on learning and practicing of networking concepts. We all need hands-on experience. So this particular simulation tool, Cisco Packet Tracer, helps you to have a practical experience with respect to networking concepts through realistic simulations of routers, switches, and network traffic. Okay, perfect. So we'll be using this tool for our practicals. So what are we waiting for? The next step is to get started with the Cisco Packet Tracer. I have the Cisco Packet Tracer ready with me. I'll now show you in today's session how to install Cisco Packet Tracer. This particular software I'll be providing you after the session. My dear friends, it's a exe file. I'll be providing you in the form of a zip file. Please unzip it and follow the steps which I'm doing now. Follow the steps which I'm doing now and install Cisco Packet Tracer on your personal laptop and desktops so that you can practice. In this particular session, I'm showing you the steps to install. Okay. Anyways, this session is recorded, as you all know. Use this particular recorded session. Follow the same steps in your personal laptop and desktop, and please install this simulation tool, Cisco Packet Tracer. Got it? Perfect. So first I'll show you where is this software available. Cisco Packet Tracer software is available in my laptop. Okay. If you can see here, my dear friends, Cisco Packet Tracer is available in my laptop in the downloads folder in the form of a RAR file. Okay, so this particular software is available with me in the form of a RAR file. I have downloaded it in the internet. You can search in Google and search for download Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, so you'll be directed to a site called the Cisco Networking Academy. So right click on this. So select the right language and you will have an option to download the Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay, so you can download it from this particular network, but you have to have a Cisco account. I recommend you to create a Cisco account and proceed with download process. Or else you can also, I will also share you this particular exe file. You don't need to download it. I'll be sharing this exe RAR file. You also please download the RAR file. As you know, every session the notes and PPTs are shared to you. In the same way, this RAR file is also shared to you. Download this RAR file and proceed with installation. Okay, now what I'm doing, as you know, it is a RAR file. I will extract this RAR file. Okay, so right click on this and select the option extract to Cisco Packet Tracer. Yes. So I am extracting this particular software. The RAR file is extracted and a folder gets created. Let's wait. You can see today's date 25th/7. So I have just extracted this particular RAR file into a folder. My dear friends, double click on this particular folder, double click on this one more folder, and can you see there is a Cisco Packet Tracer version 8.2.1. It's a Windows supporting software. If you are having a Mac operating system, you can download from the web Cisco Packet Tracer, which is compatible to Mac operating system. You can download that particular software. So it's an exe file. So my dear participants, so the moment you extract it, it is an exe file, and you all know what needs to be done if it's an exe file. If it is an exe file, we will double click on it and start installation. So now I am double clicking on this exe file and I'm proceeding with the installation of this particular tool, Cisco Packet Tracer. Double click on it. Most of the options are default options. Click on yes. Accept the agreement. Next. Next. So remember, the Cisco Packet Tracer will be installed in C program files. Just take a note of it. Let's proceed. Next. Create a desktop shortcut. OK. Click on next. Click on install. As simple as it. It is a very, very small tool which gets installed within a minute. Let's wait for this particular tool to get installed. You can see here we got a message completing the Cisco Packet Tracer version 8.2.1. So this is a 64-bit operating system. So I don't want to launch it, so remove the checkbox and click on finish. So we are done with the installation of Cisco Packet Tracer. So my dear friends, we are done with the installation of the Cisco Packet Tracer. So we are done with the installation of Cisco Packet Tracer. How to check whether the Cisco Packet Tracer is installed or not? If you go to Start button and search for Cisco, so you get this option called Cisco Packet Tracer. You can click on Open to open this particular tool, or there's a desktop shortcut that gets automatically created. So this is the desktop shortcut, my dear friends, the Cisco Packet Tracer. So this is the desktop shortcut, how it looks like. So you can now double click on it and open the Cisco Packet Tracer. I repeat again. Double click on the Cisco Packet Tracer. It will ask you for the first time, it will ask you whether you want to run it on multi-user or single user. Just select single user in case it will prompt you. Okay. Close this. You don't need to worry about this. Once the Cisco Packet Tracer is installed, you need to activate it. Cisco Packet Tracer, I have shown you installation. Next, we need to activate it. Okay. So remember, installation is one step. Activate is the second step. I am done with installation of Cisco Packet Tracer. Now you have to activate it. Okay, I'm showing you the activation process. Open the folder where you have extracted. You remember I have extracted. There is a folder called crack. Have you observed? My dear friends, there is a folder called crack folder. Go back. Let's go back. So there's a folder called crack. So remember this I will share you. Okay, so you may not get the cracked version over the net, but I will be sharing you this. Go to crack folder and there is a file called as packettracer.exe. Okay, so this file you need to copy it, and where you have to place it, you have to place it in the location where the Cisco Packet Tracer is installed. If you open the readme.exe text file, it is clearly mentioned that that should be exe file should be placed in C drive program for files, Cisco Packet Tracer bin directories. Remember that. So let's go to the bin directory. Let's close this notepad. Go to C drive program files, and there is a folder called Cisco Packet Tracer, and go to the bin directory, and then in this bin directory paste that exe file, replace it. Perfect, I already have placed it, so it is asking for replacing. I have placed it. So remember this particular file, Cisco Packet Tracer.exe file should be placed inside the bin directory. This is that activation process. That's all. We are done with activation. Now let us open the Cisco Packet Tracer one more time. Double click on this icon, Cisco Packet Tracer. Now this particular simulation tool is ready to use. Got it? Perfect. So this is very, very important. I strongly recommend, if you're very serious, I strongly recommend to install this particular Cisco Packet Tracer tool on your personal laptop or desktop, as well as activate it. Okay, so this is very, very important. I can see some hand raised probably. Perfect. Okay. Now, any questions? My dear friends, any questions? I hope you are enjoying the session. We are slowly getting into the practicals of network administration, CCNA, and the required tool also we have installed. I strongly recommend to install the Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay. Now this is how the user interface looks like, the Cisco Packet Tracer. Okay. So this is the file menu. Okay. Where you can save your examples also. Okay. So the beauty of the Cisco Packet Tracer is you have all the components in the Cisco Packet Tracer to work out with the practicals and examples. If you observe in the left side bottom, these are networking devices icon, and this is end devices. End devices are nothing but your desktops, your laptops, your servers, printers. You can get any component whatever you want, and the devices, and these are components. Network card. These are cables. There are a lot of cables which helps you to connect to your devices. So you can select the right components. You can see here these are switches. This option is switches, where you'll find all the different different models of the Cisco switches. Okay, and you have routers here. These are different Cisco routers, different models. So you can, let's say you want to create a switch. So select this and drag. So that's how you can create a switch. If you don't want a switch, right click. You have delete option which helps you to delete it. Are you sure you want to delete it? Perfect. So that's how you can create switches and you can delete the switches. You can create PCs. If you want to create one, you need a to perform practicals, you need a PC. You can just drag and drop one PC. You want one more PC, you can just drag and drop one PC. And you want to connect to these two PCs. I want to simulate this example. I want to create a very small network of two computers connected with each other over a cable. So you can simulate that in Cisco Packet Tracer. I already have created PC1 and I already have created second PC. Look at this. The first PC numbering starts from 0. Can you see PC0 is the first PC and PC1 is the second PC. Now you want a cable. Cisco Packet Tracer comes with cables also. Can you see this? This symbol is cable symbol. Okay, so you can see always select the first one, which will automatically choose the right cable, which helps in communicating between these two devices. Perfect. Spend some time. It is very easy to create PCs and create switches, create routers, and establish connections. Everything you can do it. So what did I do it? What did I do? I have created two PCs and I have connected these two PCs over a cable. So this is a cable option, which helps you. You can see here when you select this particular cable, automatically choose the connection type. So when you select this, it automatically chooses the connection type. It automatically chooses the right cable, which helps in communicating between these two devices. Okay, clear? Perfect. So I have created a small network. As I mentioned in day one or day two, every system in the network, every device in the network is uniquely identified with an IP address. Are you understanding? Every device in a network is uniquely identified with an IP address. So here, this is one device. Okay. And this is one more device. When you click on this is PC0. When you click on this, can you see a window gets open where you can configure that particular device. When you click on this, one more PC2, you get the PC1 gets created where you can perform configurations. So all these devices can be configured in Cisco Packet Tracer. Now what I want to do, I want to create so as we have two PCs, one is PC0, we have one more component called PC1. So what I want to do, I want to provide an IP address for this PC0 because in a network, as I mentioned in the yesterday's theory session, every device in a network is uniquely identified with IP address. Okay, so let's proceed and let's assign IP address to this particular PC. I want to assign an IP address. Let's say, for example, I want to assign an IP address 10.10.10.1 is the IP address which I want to provide it to the first PC, and I want to assign 10.10.0.2. This is the IP address which I want to assign it to second PC. First step, I have shown you how to create PCs in Cisco Packet Tracer, and I also have shown you how to connect those two PCs using the cable in Cisco Packet Tracer. Next, what I'm showing you, as we all know that every component, every device or every component in a particular network is uniquely identified with IP address. Now, second step, what I'm doing, I'm assigning IP address to this particular PCs. Now I'm showing you the steps to assign IP address. Let's start with PC0. Let's open Cisco Packet Tracer. So just click on this PC0. Can you see we have physical tab, config tab, desktop tab, programming tab, and attribute tab. Have you observed, my dear friends? Physical tab. Okay. This is physical tab, config tab, desktop tab. So these are all the tabs where you can configure. Physical tab is nothing but physically how a system looks like. This is a visualize. You can visualize this is a desktop. Okay, with a floppy drive, with a CD drive, and a power on button. With this is the you can see cabinet. Okay, you have a mic symbol, you have pen drive, USB drives. Okay, so this is how physically a machine looks like, just to have a physical experience. Now what I want to do, I want to assign IP address to this particular machine. That is possible by going to the tab called as desktop. And can you see we have an IP configuration? This option is used to assign IP configuration. This option is used to assign IP address to this particular machine. So by default, the static will be selected radio button. That's okay. Let's assign the IP address. That's it. 10.10.0.1. That's it. Click on tab. As you know, this is class A IP address. The subnet mask will be 255.0.0. That's it. Nothing more to be done. Just click on close. The changes what you have done is automatically saved. If you want to look at the IP address again, what you have done it, double click on it, go to IP configuration. You can see the IP address is automatically saved. There's no save button as such. The moment you click on enter, the information will be automatically saved. So we have done with assigning IP address to the first machine, that is PC0. Now let's proceed assigning IP address to the second PC. So click on that, go to desktop IP configuration, and let's proceed and assigning IP address to the second PC. That's it. That's it. Click on close. The IP address is configured. Close it. So my dear friends, we have created a network. Network is nothing but collection of computers for communication, right? So I have created a network, a smallest network of 2 devices, and I have connected these 2 devices over a cable, and then I have assigned IP address to that particular devices. Okay. Now my question for you, my dear friends, my question for you, can these two systems communicate with each other? This PC0, can it communicate to PC1 or vice versa? PC1, can it communicate to PC0? My question for you, can these two machines communicate with each other? In networking, if you want to check whether these two machines can communicate to each other, that is possible by using a command called ping. Okay, so we have a command called ping command, which helps you to check whether the machine is communicating to the desired machine. I want to check my PC0 is able to communicate to PC1. Okay. I want to check my first PC is able to communicate to second PC or not. So that is possible. You can verify whether this machine is communicating us or not by using the ping command. I want to now show you how to run a ping command and how to check whether whether this particular system is communicating to the other system or not. So let's open the PC0, the first PC. And can you see there's an option called command prompt? Okay, so open the command prompt, and then you can see here, let's increase the font size for better visibility. We can go to options and then go to preferences. You can see here, go to font tab. By default, the size is 8. Let's change it to 16. Click on OK. So yes, click on close. I have increased the font size for better visibility now. Open the PC and go to command prompt. I want to check whether, so now you can see here in the title bar, can you see PC0? Now you are in the command prompt of PC0. Okay. Now I want to check from PC0, am I able to communicate to PC1? So that is possible by using ping command. So I write the command ping. One more important point, what IP address I have to mention here? You want to verify whether the first PC is communicating to second PC or not. So you need to mention the second PC IP address. I remember the second PC IP address is 10.10.0.2. Now click on enter. Now just press enter. Are you getting reply? Very, very important. Are you getting reply? Perfect. You are replying, getting the reply from 10.0.0.2. This is nothing but the second PC. So this is a proof that first PC is communicating to the second PC. I want to check vice versa. Vice versa is nothing, but I want to check whether the second PC is communicating to the first PC. So that is all possible again. Let's go to second PC. Let's open the command prompt of the second PC, and I have to ping to the first computer IP address. We already know it. So let's go to ping followed with the IP address of the first machine that is called as 10.10.0.1. So if you're getting a reply, this means the second computer is able to communicate to the first computer. So ping is a very basic command to test the communication between two devices. So we have created a perfect network. In a network, every computer is identified with a IP address. We have assigned IP address to that particular network. And then we also have tested whether these two machines are able to communicate to each other. Perfect. So this is the beauty of Cisco Packet Tracer. This is the beauty of Cisco Packet Tracer. So what are you waiting for? I strongly recommend download the Cisco Packet Tracer and then get started with the hands-on practice of network administration, create PCs and establish link between the PCs by using this particular automatic cable, and then perfect, and proceed and test whether these two machines are able to communicate with each other or not. So this is the first example on Cisco Packet Tracer. Any questions? I hope you're very comfortable now how to connect, how to create PCs, and how to establish connection between the pieces. Any questions? Any questions? Hmm? I hope you're enjoying. No questions? Okay. I want to show you one more example. I want to how to delete this PC. How to delete this particular example. Just we have an option. Can you see that is a delete button? Click on this. Okay. One more point which I want to show you before deleting. One way of testing communication is by using ping command. Okay. The other way is by sending a packet from one machine to other machine. This is one more simulation where you can test whether the communication is happening or not by sending a packet. Okay. Now I'm showing you, this is an alternative to ping command. I want to show you whether the communication, to check whether the communication is happening between PC0 to PC1. One way of checking by using the ping command. Cisco Packet Tracer provides one more way by sending a packet. Now I'm showing you how to send a packet. Can you see there's an icon called simple packet. Simple PDU is nothing but the packet. Click this packet. The source is PC0. Click on source and click on destination. Okay. Now you can see at the right side bottom it is successful. The source is PC0. The post destination is PC1. So I am able to send the data from PC packet. This packet is nothing but a data. So I'm able to send one packet from PC0 to PC1. So this is to prove that these two machines are communicating with each other. One way to test is by using ping command. Let's say you don't want to write a ping command, you want to simulate the communication, you want to use Cisco Packet Tracer to prove it, you can do it. I want to send a packet from PC1 to PC0. That's again possible. So select the packet again. So source will be PC1 this time and destination will be PC0. And look at this table, we are getting again a success message. PC1, we are able to send the packet to PC0. Perfect. So that's how you can test whether the communication is happening or not. You can delete this, okay, to get the delete from the table. So that's how communication is possible between the devices. Okay, this is about creating a PC and establishing communication between the PC. Okay, so there is a very important network component called as switch. Let's say you have 5 pieces and you want to establish communication between the 5 pieces. If it is one-to-one, if it is only 2 pieces, one cable is enough. If it is 5 PC and every PC should able to communicate to rest of all the 4 pieces, one-to-many communication. For that, you need to have a component called a switch. Okay, now before ending, I just want to show you a simple example of how to create a switch. Before that, let's delete this particular PC. So how to delete, you already know it. You have a delete button. Click on this delete button. Click on that, it gets deleted. And click on second PC, gets deleted. I want to create a switch. So where is the switch option? Okay, so we have under network devices at the bottom, can you see we have switches, the second icon that is called as switches. So we have all these are all our available switches. Let's take the first to start with. Let's take the first option. So I'm creating a Cisco switch. Okay, so what is the switch I'm taking? 2960. Okay, So this is a Cisco switch. If you want, you can technically verify it. Cisco 2960. So this is how a Cisco 2960 switch looks like. This is a 48 port switch. Physically, this is switch what we have taken, 2960. This is how a switch look like. This is the same thing what I'm doing here. Okay, so I have created a switch. Okay, I want to create two PCs and I want to establish connection to this particular switch. So let's take the PC1. So you know this is the PC option. So select PC option, click on this. I have selected first PC and I have selected second PC. Okay, now I need a cable to connect these two PCs to the switch. As you know, this particular symbol is called as automatically choose the connection type. So I drag and drop and I drag from the switch to, it can be switch to PC or PC to switch. So that's how I have connected these two PCs to the switch. I want to, so right now if you can see here, these are gray symbol, orange symbol. You have to wait for few seconds, which will switch to green. Let's wait. You can see the first one is switched to converted to green. That means the link is now activated. Second link is also activated. So you should get everything in green color at the switch end. You should have to get it in green color. In the PC end also, you should get it in green color. Everything should be in green color. That means your component is ready. So your network is ready. I want to create third PC and attach it to the same switch. So let's go to one more PC. So this is the third PC. And from this particular PC, I want to run a cable. Okay. Let's drag it closer. I want to run a cable. So we have this symbol and from the PC. That's how I have dragged it. Okay. So now I have to wait for this particular orange symbol to turn to green. So total in the switch, I have used how many ports? As there are three computers, I have used three ports. So this is how a physical switch looks like. So this is called as a port. So these are all called as ports. So I have used how many ports? Three ports I have used because I have connected three machines. If you want to know which ports I have used it, keep your cursor over the switch. You can see here, have you observed in the drop down list, fast either, those are called as Ethernet port. So your link is up and up. How many are up? So three options are there in the up. Okay, so three links are up. Have you observed? Out of all these 24 ports, the first three links are up. Okay, so that's how we can visualize how the switch looks like and how the computers are connected to switch. Okay, once you're done with the practicals, you can save your example by going to click on file, save as, and you can save your example. The file will be saved with the extension pkt. Okay, or if you don't want to save it, just click on close. Are you sure you want to save? I don't want to save. Click on no, and that's how you can close the Cisco packet tracer. Clear? So this is our agenda of today's session. I hope you have enjoyed. You know, we have not experienced iOS today. Okay, so we have just created a switch because what we have not connected to the configuration of the switch. Tomorrow, okay, so we'll see how to experience this iOS. Tomorrow we'll experience user mode, privilege mode, and config mode, how to switch from one mode to other mode. And from tomorrow, obviously every session is a practical session where we learn each and every component, how the components are used, and how the communication happens, and how to establish network. So it's a very good learning from tomorrow. Clear? So this is I have planned for today's session. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you for joining with the new link. See you tomorrow. If you have, tomorrow is also the demo. Okay. But still, I strongly recommend you to complete the payment. Okay. So if you want to make the payment, you know the site, that is logiclabstech.com. Go to upcoming batches. So we have a payment link here. Okay. So click on this payment link and click on buy now. As per Indian rupees, it is just 4,720. You can buy now, complete the payment formalities. Okay. Anyways, tomorrow is also the demo. You're welcome to attend tomorrow's demo also. Perfect. Any questions? Any questions? Perfect. I hope you have enjoyed the session. See you tomorrow, where we'll continue much more learning on CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Administrator. Thank you all. Bye, everybody.